I won an online game with every single NHL team in NHL 23. Here's how it happened. But before we get into the games, just a quick disclaimer that all these games are taken from my 100 games of online versus video. If you haven't checked out that video, make sure to watch it after this one. So if you hear me talking about random game numbers, you know why. But enough talking, let's get into the games. Now, since the new reverse retro jerseys are out, I wanted to take a look at all of them. But what better way to look at them than trying to get a win with every single team in the NHL?
Jesus Christ.
So in game number 9, we start our journey with the Anaheim Ducks. And this game was a little upsetting as I couldn't beat Carter Hart, and we beat the guy in every single statistic, but we still lost by 1 goal. Game number 10 is our second try with the Anaheim Ducks, and I score one very early in the first period. The opponent plays out the first period and then quits at the end of it. GG's. Let's move on to Arizona. With Arizona, in game number 11, we score 3 goals in the first 10 minutes, and then our opponent takes a penalty and decides to quit. Game number 12, and we're moving on to the Boston Bruins. This was a pretty frustrating loss as it was so laggy the game even froze at some points. On the opponent's second goal, I played perfect positioning, and I still couldn't pick off the pass. That would turn out to be the game-winning goal. Game number 13 is a wild one. A total of 6 goals, 3 fights back-to-back, and an own goal after a Michigan attempt? Okay. After a win with the Bruins, we're moving on to Buffalo in game number 14, and this one's a pretty easy one as my opponent quits after the second goal late in the second period. Game number 15, and we're back with the Calgary Flames. This game turned out to be an absolute banger as I tie the game in the last minute. But it gets even better because in the last second of the game, the opponent gives me the game-winning goal. Game number 16 was the closest game you could get as we go on to have the same amount of shots and only 20 seconds different in time on attack, but a 4-3 win with Carolina means we're moving on. To game number 17 with the Chicago Blackhawks, and we go up 3-0 and we give up 2 late goals, but we manage to hold on for the 3-2 win. Game number 18 is an interesting one to say the least, as it's a fairly even game all throughout the first period. And then my opponent disconnects? Game number 19 was a sloppy win, but a win nonetheless as we win 1-0 and we got some pretty good saves from Merzlinkins. Game number 20, and this one was sweaty. My opponent was using the Pacific All-Stars and his L2 button was hanging on for dear life. The game was tied 3-3 in the third period, and then I scored this beautiful goal. That would go on to be the game winner as my opponent quits after an empty net goal. Game number 21 was a dominant win with Detroit as we win 3-0. And check out this funny bounce on the third goal. Game number 22, and yes, another All-Stars user. However, the All-Stars could not save this guy as he rage quits after the third goal in the second period. How do people deal with, losing with the All-Star team? How demoralizing is it that you use the best team in the game and still lose? We're moving on to Florida in game number 23, and we're only 23 games in, and I think I've seen it all. My opponent decides to rage quit after a fight. That's an easy 1-0 win. Let's move on. We're with the LA Kings in game number 24, and I kind of feel bad about this one. A high-scoring affair, and with me being up 5-4 in the last minute of the game blue screens, and my opponent quits. You gotta feel for him, though, because he had a pretty good chance to tie up the game. Game number 25, and we're with Minnesota, and this one was pretty upsetting. My opponent got an early lead in the third period and decided to puck rag quite a bit. It's pretty frustrating when your opponent can only score cross-crease goals and puck rags when he has the lead, and so for that reason, this is one of the few times that I actually rage quit. But we get our revenge in game number 26 as we cause our opponent to rage quit after a 3-0 lead in the second period. We're all done with Minnesota. Game number 27 with the Montreal Canadiens, and this was a pretty dominant win. Our opponent had a good push in the third period, but it wasn't enough as we were able to hang on. Also, can we talk about this one punch from Kirby Dach? Game number 29, and it's a story I've already told before. We score in the third period to go up 3-0, and another rage quit. GG's. Game number 30 is a very interesting one as we get the mirror match of the New York Islanders. I score the first goal of the game in the first period, and then my opponent disappears. he's still gone halfway through the second period, and then he finally disconnects. GG's? Game number 31 with the New York Rangers, and this was a pretty dominant win. My opponent decides to rage quit after the second goal, but he had to get some choice words in before he quit.
You, dude.
Y'all need Jesus.
And here comes DeBrincat on a 2-on. Oh my goodness, come on. Game number 33, and this was a real tough one. My opponent was very good, and he capitalized on all their chances, and I just couldn't get anything strung together, so we take the loss on that one. And game number 34 is a perfect example of why you don't puck rag. If you're new to the NHL franchise and you don't know what puck ragging is, basically what it means is you hide behind your net with the puck to kill time so the opponent can't get a chance. And in this scenario, my opponent was puck ragging behind the net to kill a penalty in overtime. And when you rag the puck, karma comes back to bite you. And moving on to game number 35 with the And moving on to game number 36 with the Pittsburgh Penguins. In this one, Tristan Jarry wanted to give me a little bit of a heart attack. Just like you, the viewer, are giving me a heart attack if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet. This video has taken over 20 hours for me to make, so if you've gotten this far and you're enjoying it so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Back to the game, Tristan Jarry with less than 10 seconds to go lets in this weak angle shot to tie up the game. However, in the shootout, my puck was on a string, literally, and we clutch up to win the game. The exact opposite kind of game in number 37 with the San Jose Sharks, this time a 10-2 win. Moving on to game number 38, this time with the Seattle Kraken, and a pretty easy 4-0 win. We scored some beautiful goals in this game. And now I feel bad because in game 39 we played the exact same opponent and we completely dominated as the opponent barely had 1 minute of time on attack. We're now done with St. Louis. In game number 40, my opponent wanted to know if he was going to become a YouTube star. It sure is going on YouTube, and that's a 4-1 rage quit win with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Game number 41, we decided to stream a few of the games. If you want to see more NHL 23 live, we stream once a week here on YouTube, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm using Toronto, this guy's using Colorado. Who's the real cheeser here? Who's the real cheeser? Game number 42 just sucked. My God, the stuttering. Dude! What do I do? Ah! Alright, third time's a charm with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and in game 43, we get a huge 4-0 win despite battling lag and terrible poke checks. We are now done with Toronto. Let's go. That's the game, boys. Let's go. Let's go, baby. That's a huge win. In game number 44, we're with the Vancouver Canucks, and we get another 4-0 win. It was a fairly even game. I just capitalized on my chances. Vancouver's done. A little reverse retro matchup. I like it. Respect. Oh my God, the dagger. The dagger. Game number 45 with the Vegas Golden Knights, and we're up 1-0, and we get a penalty shot. Or at least I thought we were going to get a penalty shot. Penalty shot? P-shot? Wait. No, don't quit. I got a penalty shot. No, dude. I had a penalty shot. I don't even want to talk about game number 46. Oh my God. No, Kuznetsov. I put so much faith in Kuznetsov, the AI. No. I put 9! I lost 9 RP! Game number 47 was a battle the entire game. My opponent went up 2-0, and I bounced back to make it 4-3. My opponent rage quit before the end of the second period. Washington's now done. Game number 48 was a very close game, and the opponent got a really weird animation on his goal, but we held on for the 2-1 win with Winnipeg. Also, who names their dog Mark?
Do you like your new toy?
So if you're keeping track at home, we started this challenge in game number 9 and finished it in game 48. That means we won a game with all 32 NHL teams in 40 games. That's pretty good.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Thank you so much for watching the video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button down below. If you want to see more NHL 23 content, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. My name is Zoo. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Who names their dog Mark?